Okay, y'all, so we are going to be making the pumpkin pie first. I don't know about you, but it's definitely my favorite Thanksgiving dessert. I just feel like it's so nostalgic, you know? Like, I ate it every year as a kid. I still love having it now. And just the texture and everything about it is so good. We're going to start by mixing the pumpkin with some sugars and spices. And give that a good stir to make it all incorporated. And then we're going to start adding in the liquids. Now, I definitely like my pie to be really thick, so this is definitely enough filling to kind of make a deep dish pumpkin pie. By the time it's done baking, it'll be 2 to 3 inches tall, which is perfect. The more the better. Now for the eggs, you just want to whisk them until you see no more streaks. You definitely don't want to overmix this. And then that's it. Our filling is completely done. So then we're just going to take a pie dish lined with some pie crust and add our filling in. And I will be completely honest, y'all, this is store-bought crust. I do have a really good homemade crust recipe, but butter is expensive and I'm making 3 pies today. So, you know, gotta do it on a budget. If you would want to see my homemade pie crust recipe maybe in a future video, let me know. So I'm actually going to be teaching you how to do some really pretty pie crust designs. For this part of it, you want to cut the crust in even strips, and we are actually going to make a braid to put on the outer rim of our pie dish. This is exactly how you would normally braid anything else, but as you can see, the one piece of advice I have is I'm kind of flattening each corner down as I go because it's going to kind of stand up and you want them to be even. And then once the braids are done, I'm going to take these incredible tools called pie presses and do really cute leaf designs with them. These are a lifesaver. They not only cut out the shape for you, but they also imprint a design. I never knew these existed until just a couple years ago. I used to freehand every single one of these, y'all, and nobody got time for that. Okay, so once all of our crust is done, we can start applying it to our dessert. I'm just laying the braids out along the rim. You don't have to worry about the part where each braid connects because as you can see, we're going to put a pretty little leaf on each one to cover it up. And then this part is optional, but I like to put a couple in the center as well. And then we're just going to use some egg wash. You can do this with a brush, but I think it's a lot better to do with your fingers. So this is going to bake for about 45 to 50 minutes at 350 degrees. That's the temperature that all 3 of our pies will bake at today. And look at that. That's a perfect pie if you ask me. So now onto our maple cinnamon pie. We are going to start with taking some graham cracker crumbs and mixing that with some sugar. And then we're going to add in our melted butter and mix that all together to make our crust. Dump out about half of that mixture and pat it flat onto the bottom of your pie dish. And then for the rest of it, kind of evenly distribute it along the sides of the pie dish and then press it up with your hands. Once we are happy and this is all even, we can set that aside and start making our filling. So this is actually going to be made on the stove top at first. So we're going to take our syrup and start heating that up. You're going to do this on medium heat just until the syrup starts to bubble. And then we're going to add in some butter. And we're just going to whisk that until it's completely melted and it makes this pretty caramel color. And we're going to take that off of the stove and add in the rest of our ingredients. I don't know about you, but as much as I do love the classics, I really like finding new recipes and trying something a little bit different. I was so happy when I tried this recipe out and it came out as well as it did because I really did want to make a different fall pie. You know, maple is such a good autumn flavor, but you don't really ever hear about a maple pie. So I'm super happy to be able to share this with y'all. Okay, and then we're just gonna add in our eggs, which is really gonna thicken our mixture up. And that is the last ingredient. And we're going to pour this into our graham cracker crust. Put this in the oven and let it bake for about 40 to 45 minutes. And our pie is out of the oven. I'm so happy with how this came out. Put a little dusting of powdered sugar on it just as that final touch. Don't you just want to eat the whole thing? And then last but not least, of course, we have to make apple pie. It's not an American holiday without apple pie. So we'll start just by lining our pie dish with some crust and then we'll set that off to the side. Then we're going to combine melted butter with some sugar and cinnamon. We'll take some peeled and sliced apples and we're going to evenly coat them with the cinnamon sugar. We can add those into our pie crust, and now I'm going to show you another crust design. So for this one, we're going to do the classic lattice design with a few little accents. So doing a lattice design is actually a lot easier than people think. We're just going to lay out the strips in one direction and then cut off any excess. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold back every other strip and put a horizontal one across it and then flatten them back down and then fold over the opposites. And just do that until your crust is complete. And then we're going to take some more little leaf designs and put it all around the rim of the pie. And then lastly, use some egg wash. Put this in the oven and bake it for about 40 to 45 minutes. I'm so happy with how this came out. The crust bakes beautifully. I hope y'all try out one of these recipes to share with your family this Thanksgiving season. I can't wait to start making more holiday themed videos. If you have any suggestions, definitely let me know in the comments. And I'll see y'all next week.